Who are you? I don't know, but I'm writing to you anyway. Where are you? How far in the future? Where'd you find my journal? I may never know, but you can know me from what I put down on these pages. I come from a little village in the mountains. No one has left here since before I was born. But our lives changed overnight, just a few days ago when my best friend had a prophetic dream. A vision that the elder said means this season is going to end soon. The world is about to enter a new era. A great change is coming. Everyone was afraid. I was surrounded by questions and I began to feel how little I know. What is this season that is about to end, and why is it ending? What exactly is out there that could turn the world inside out? If there are still voices singing and laughing in the wilderness, I could record them before they're gone. I also thought of my dad, who always wanted to see the outside world but never did. So, I asked if I could leave. The elder had one condition for letting me go: that I take what I collect to the museum vault, a palace of art and memory at the edge of the earth. She says it's the only place safe from the turmoil of a changing season. I hope that's where you're reading this now. I can't stop the change that is coming, but this time on Earth could live on in these pages. What it looks like, sounds like, how it feels to be alive right now. I'm writing to you at the crack of dawn on the morning I leave home. I can smell breakfast cooking in the other room, and I can hear my mom's voice. My bag and Dad's camera, ready for the great departure.
You're up. It's gonna be a beautiful morning. I'm making progress. I found the burner, camera, recorder, travel bag. Breakfast is in progress. Still gotta make a pendant. We haven't used this in so long. Good thing I saved the instructions. Just as you would use a shield to protect your body, an identity pendant protects your mind, your thoughts, memories, everything that makes you, you. We don't wear them here in the village anymore, but if you're going into the outside world, I'll feel better when you've got a pendant shielding you. I will worry until you're gone, and then I'll have total confidence in you. In times of war, a pendant can be used to identify a body. Let's skip that part. Objects have two layers, the physical and the mental. The pendant needs to absorb both. 1. Collect a sentimental object for each sense: sound, smell, feel, sight, taste. 2. Feel the sense and speak aloud a memory of the object. 3. Feed the object into the burner. The memory will leave the speaker as it is transferred to the pendant. That means I'll forget the memory after I say it. It's supposed to be painless. at least. Okay, so this old tape should work for our sense of sound. I remember you and I fell asleep listening to this tape. Your dad came home. We all rested together until it got dark. What an odd feeling. Like an absence. The empty space fills itself back in until I forget that I forgot anything at all. I'm glad I'm only losing a few memories. If I lost too many, I wouldn't even know who you are. You should pick the rest of the objects. I'll lose the memories, but you'll have them independent forever. So they should be important to you. They should be parts of your identity you want to be sure to protect. So think about what these items and what the memories would preserve about you. Let's do smell next. Find an object with a strong odor and that holds a piece of you.
Nothing. I used to see souls everywhere. Granite, seaside, darkness. This speaks to how my mom loves me. Childhood. Too sweet, too old. I always wanted to experience new things.
What did you choose for smell? Let's breathe in deep. This ginger drink has been in our family for generations. And you, as soon as you were old enough to talk, you said, "Let's drink it." It's hundreds of years old, like you already wanted to experience something different. Well, we all had one horrible sip. But boy, we laughed. What would we do without you? What will we do without you? Now touch. Pick something with a texture you like.
My hand in my own hand. This speaks to how my mom loves me.
So what did you end up choosing? Okay, put your hand in the hand. Oh, I remember it so well. It's not as bad now, but in the old days, not many children live long enough to grow up. We believed if a child could make it to the age of 9, they'd be all right. This print was made of your hand when you turned 9. Your father and I couldn't believe we really had a healthy girl. An old deep fear inside of me finally went away. And we saw you would just keep growing and growing. That everything was going to be okay. I'm fine. Let's do sight next. Pick something that looks nice.
Dried mountain flowers. Nothing is ever lost.
So, what did you end up choosing? Your dad used to bring these flowers home from his climbs. They only grow high up in the mountains. He was a great climber. He even found us a new source of water. I hoped after he would climb less, maybe even retire. But he always wanted to explore, and the only direction to go was maybe the Elder is letting you leave out of guilt for what happened to your dad. If someone has the energy to leave, it needs to go somewhere. He fell into the Fitz ravine. We never found his body, but doesn't he rest with us at night? Doesn't he appear in our dreams? How can such a human being, a trace as strong as the flowers, would still have their scent? Darling, I don't want to lose this one. I can't lose this one. Can we put the flowers back, please? Thank you.
Gold, glint, smile, blushing face. I used to see souls everywhere.
So, what did you end up choosing? There were years when you saw faces everywhere. We had to be gentle with everything in case it had a soul. I remember you saw some sticks on the ground in the shape of a face. You were so worried what would happen if the wind blew. I secretly put the sticks away and showed you the face on. Look, she transformed. You were so serious, studying it, thinking how a soul could transform. Eventually you stopped seeing faces everywhere. Does the world have fewer souls in it now than when you were a child? Or are they still out there? For taste, we can eat breakfast and feed some to the burner. The memory I'll lose is the one we're forming right now. I want you to have it forever. Standing here, you're having a last taste of home. Now you're protected by lost memories, a gem of home around your neck. This is my only condition for letting you go. You must promise me never to take the pendant off. And never tamper with it. Okay? Then I'm okay with you leaving. I think your camera and bag are still in your room. It's time to gather them up. I've lost. How could the world ask me to lose you too? Look at us. there we are. There we were. We'll always be right here on this beautiful morning.
I just performed a ritual with my mom. The moment has passed, but I'll record it in these pages for you, for the future. I never knew when my mom would share a memory of Dad while cooking, on a walk, with no warning. It knocked the wind out of me. Rituals take this grief and give it a shape and a story. Filling in this journal is a ritual too, but for a loss that hasn't hit us yet. I've brought tools to record the sights and sounds of this season. I'll start by recording the only place I've ever known. Public sleep music is a tradition of ours here. When the music ends, the village will begin to wake up. Last night there was a goodbye party here in the plaza. Everyone was so afraid for me. Fear. To understand where I grew up, you have to know the man standing watch over the plaza, Dr. Fumio. Dr. Fumio said the dream sickness was caused by something very powerful. He wasn't able to cure it. Dr. Fumio and his son founded Karo back in 776. They live on through our traditions. There are 3 murals celebrating Dr. Fumio's work. Smells like an old man's toes dipped in cinnamon. I had to drink this gross potion last night. Like my pendant, it's supposed to protect my brain. Pate loves fish, even though nobody here has ever seen one.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Okay. How to leave home for my daughter. Find a sacred square of earth. Lay down so you have the dirt at your back. Close your eyes. Close everything. Do you see for yourself? You see for the dead, for the unborn. Do you listen for yourself? You listen for the dead, for the unborn. Your ancestors are in that dirt. All the living and all the dead are holding you up. Now, stand. They're still there, aren't they? It's time to move, to entangle yourself everywhere with everyone. So the next time you lay down in the dirt, you will have so much more to tell them.
Pate fixed up 3 bikes instead of 1. Traders used to come to the outskirts of the village. The war put an end to this. Before setting up in Kero village, Dr. Fumio roamed the land curing people. It must have been hard when he wasn't around anymore, especially for people who couldn't travel to the village. They were right. The letter never made it. The season before this one, the war, seems so horrible. I can see in these letters that the outside world has extremes, of beauty and tragedy, beyond anything I've known. That poor baby. My first time petting an animal. I think it went pretty well. That time it felt off. I guess I had beginner's luck before. I cycled through landscapes, seeing them for the first and last time. I had no idea when I left my home how the season would end, or more importantly, how soon. On a cold, damp day, I feel true loneliness for the first time. Nobody could have described with words how big this world is, how it goes and goes. I passed through it, where others passed before me. One melody is like me out here alone. I can't really live like this. They kept themselves company with music. Looks like they made it out of here. But what is this group? In the empty places, I found companionship in the tapes I recorded before leaving home. The elder told me the story of her life. I listened back to it, ready to note down anything that seemed important.
Let's set the scene for the listener, whoever that might be. This is the elder speaking. We're sitting in the plaza, saying goodbye to a dear soul. We're here to see if there's anything useful in my mind that could help you on your trip. A century's worth of memories, dreams, fantasies, visions. Like a big, old, haunted library. When I die, this library will burn down. But which book should we check out first? I don't have all the answers, but I do feel the story of my life could help you understand what kind of world is out there. It's okay not to understand everything right away. The moment may pass before you got, as long as you're there to witness it, to you and others to come will someday take the time to make sense of it all. First, I got old. That's an important step. Being an elder is all about how you react to strange events. The key is not to be surprised, but kind of frown and say something like, "It begins." Never say, "I don't know." Say, "We dive into a pool of uncertainty." I was born on the ocean. My mother and father worked on a cruise ship, the short-lived but glorious watery republics, floating cities. Most won their independence by the time I was born. How can I describe them? They were a jewel of the golden season, pleasure boats with a radical political program. How nice. The golden age was a time of flags, logos, mottos, mastheads. My mom taught me to read them. She was the ship's philosopher. My dad was a recycling engineer. Recycling on the ship was a matter of life and death. We had to get the most out of every object and watt of energy. These symbols and gestures were layered with meaning. There are signals in the way you might move your hands, or her job was to manage the symbols and their meanings. She designed the ship's flag, for example. Let me draw it for you. After the war, people were disgusted with groups and symbols. Keep an eye out on your trip. I bet you won't see a signal flag. Her name was Augusta Kale. I loved the way the ship would tilt and roll with the waves, especially as I fell asleep. Picture me as a kid in bed, feeling the swaying of the ship. It was like being rocked to sleep as a baby. I loved exploring the ship too. Wandering through the suites, the swimming pool, the game rooms, and there were 2 dance halls, a large, elegant one and another one. And a lot of my firsts were down there. My first dance, my first kiss, and so forth. Our ship was taken over in the early days of the war. That was the end of the watery republics. I heard the dance hall in the basement became a weapons cache. Took me half my life to say goodbye to the world I knew in my youth. Imagine me and my parents and everyone I knew being escorted off the ship by a company of soldiers. And I'm thinking, I hope they don't make a mess of my room. I was embarrassed by the younger kids who were crying their eyes out, but they knew, I guess. Even as things got bad, I couldn't imagine the changes were permanent. It's easy now to look back and say, the internationalism of the golden season was violently breaking. You can be naive about all kinds of things, but not war. Most of my life has been spent in isolated communities, and the one moment I was in the wild world. You couldn't pick a more chaotic time, and we had been warned the season was going to end. Oh, but we didn't understand the warning. You see, one night, along a coastline, we saw beautiful lights shimmering above the water. Later, we found out this was an ancient warning system. It hadn't been used in so long. We didn't know what it meant. We just thought, well, ain't that pretty? We tried to stick together and camped out on the coast of the prismatic grounds. A kingdom of art and science. They got rich during the golden season. Everything that made them beloved before the wealth came. Passionate, uncompromising, self-obsessed, made them unbearable once they had power. Artists make terrible kings. Are you sure you want me to keep going? The story gets darker from here on. Okay, so conditions in the camp were getting worse. My mom got lost in thought for long periods of time. She'd be completely still for hours, days even. We realized she caught, well, now we call it time misperception disorder. It's when you lose your ability to tell how much time is passing. A minute can feel like an hour. A day can pass in 10 seconds. We don't know exactly. Our consciousness is delicate. There are minerals and sounds that can adjust it. Dr. Fumio's greatest fear was that someone would use this as a weapon. We heard about a traveling doctor who could cure these kinds of diseases. I decided to go find him. I found out his name was Dr. Fumio. People talked about him like he was a god. The prismatic grounds had roped almost everyone into their system until they reached the far wastes and heard no for the first time. Nobody reacted well. It got to the point of, neighborhood against neighborhood. Grievances had been buried so deeply we forgot they were there. It felt like things changed overnight. I'd pass through a city and hear later that they'd torn each other apart. I could not imagine it. I described my mom's condition to Dr. Fumio. He said there was no cure yet, but there was a village high in the mountains. He thought it was high enough he'd have a better chance at treatment. Lower places are more dangerous. Valleys are the worst. He invited me to join them in going to the village, but I wanted to go back and get my parents and bring them with me. I packed my things and got ready to leave the next morning. At night, my mom came to me in a dream. She was standing in a field of flowers. I'd grown since I last saw her. We were the same height. She pressed a finger hard into my palm. She taught me well. I knew the meaning of the gesture. I knew no matter what I did, I'd never see my parents again. In the morning, I told Dr. Fumio I would follow him to Karo village. The next few weeks were very physically tiring, hiking, climbing. And when we found the village, building, planting, cleaning, Fumio brought sick people from all over the world, and they got better. The treatments worked. Everyone was healing, so why couldn't I? One day, we got word the war was over. We never found out how it ended. It was like peace just swept over the earth in a split second. There was a party in the plaza to celebrate the end of the war, but I couldn't bring myself to go. Yes, it was over, but it had taken my home, my family. That night, as I was falling asleep, I felt the bed tilt and sway gently, as if it was being tossed on the waves of the ocean, as if I was back in my bedroom on the ship, as if I was back in my mother's arms, being rocked gently to sleep. I knew I was finally home, and nothing could hurt me.
I imagined coming upon a place as hidden and singular as my own village. Eventually, I found myself circling a valley, looking for a way in.
Oh, the valley. One second.
I'll think about what kind of visitor I want to be.
Is that a strotophob? What are they called? What is it? I love old gear like that. It's getting more and more rare. I had a camera, but it broke. Not that interesting of a story. What are you doing here? The whole thing, huh? You're young. You got time. What kind of stuff are you recording? Oh yeah, civilization. The valley would be a good place to use those tools. Too bad it's closed down. Let me finish up here, huh?
I'm not the first to do this. Just the first in a long time.
Hey. This was like a second home for a while. That was fun earlier when you showed up. And I was carrying the cardboard man. You were like, who are these guys? I've been pretty bored here. You know, the valley's gonna be flooded soon. That's why nobody can go in there. The dam is falling apart. It's too old. There's nobody left who knows how to repair it. We're taking it down so we'll know when it'll collapse. It gives us time to evacuate everyone. Greyhounds. We're a community organization. We do all kinds of fun stuff. Health clinics, mine sweeping, daycare, evacuations, weddings. We're new. We'll do anything to make the future better than the present. No big deal. We're trying to get new things going. But it's hard. The past really has a tight grip on people. Doesn't feel like a fair fight. So we're trying to, well... Anyway. It's funny. I stood guard here for a week, and I've only seen greyhounds like myself, and valley people on their way out. But now I see you, and you're like a... new element, or something. I've never met anyone doing what you're doing. And we greyhounds gotta support new things. So... I'm not supposed to let anyone in. How can I? Jeez. I think you should go down into the valley and take a look. Gotta try something here. Dang it. I was trying to wink. Well, you get the idea. Go on and put that old gear to use. You can take my map of the valley too. I don't need it anymore. I'll be down to pick everyone up around midnight. See you then.
I met a greyhound. He let me into the valley. I think he wanted me to record what the greyhounds were up to, and he gave me a map. The assembly point seemed like a good place to start. I wonder what he expects me to discover in the valley. I am probably the last person that will ever be welcomed here by this sign. The elder told me there's very little information about the years before 500. I have wondered about the lives beneath unkept graves. I wonder what the flowers have to say. It must have been important to have such an elaborate solitary tomb.
Oh, thank God someone is still down there. I've been trying to get a hold of someone for hours. Oh, thank you. I forgot the Day Zero materials. You know, the visual literature, the warm bath of ideas? I left it at the dig site. It should be sitting on a barrel with a fruit sticker on it. Oh, wait! Hold on. I forgot to do the secret password. I don't even know who you are. Is it too late now, you think? Yeah, the locals don't use the telephone anyway. The hermit in the woods is afraid to because she got hit by lightning. Anyways, thanks for... The Day Zero material is in the dig site. Pretty sure. It should be sitting on a barrel that has a fruit sticker on it. You know, I was going to say you could bring it to me, but the flood will destroy it anyway. So, actually, I was worried for nothing. Everything is lost in a flood. God, we really know what we're doing. I'm excited for this all to be over. I'm excited for this all to begin. Bye-bye now.
There must be a lot of people going to the city if they need to keep track of them with cards. The elder also said low places are dangerous. The city is high up like my village. Maybe it is safer. The gray hands seem to care what people think about them. There seems to be suspicion about the real condition of the dam and why it's being taken down. Looks like there's no one around anymore to enforce this. There are a lot of these signs. They must really want to keep people out of this area. I found a dig site that is fenced off from view. What were they doing here? A gray hand said he left his materials behind. It should be somewhere around here. They look relieved to have finished their work. The work at the dig site has something to do with Day Zero. There's a big tree with a researcher's notebook inside it somewhere. I wonder what this channel is for. They must have already shipped out all the Harpic they need. I wonder what's on this reel. What is Day Zero? Maybe I can find out more about it. They dug up all that Harpic in order to conduct some sort of prayer on Day Zero.
I've recreated the same setup as the prayer statues right here in my workshop. I set up a singing bowl so I can verify the pattern that will form in the water. And some Harpic, of course. Each god seems to correspond to a resonating frequency. And when this vibration acts on the Harpic, we get the psychoactive response. Going to give it a try here.
I remember watching my dad make shadow puppets on the wall. Felt strange because I could see how it was done. I could see the trick of it, but it still felt kind of magical.
It worked. I do feel the more I do this, the more tired, and it feels like it takes me longer to return to the present. But now I have some control. I face the question of how this mineral affects the soil. I still have a lot of work to do. That's all for today.
A mineral that can affect the mind. I should handle this with care. Who knows what kind of mind trouble it can cause. Psychoactive effects. Is the sign talking about Harpic? I had an uncle who collected tools that were so old nobody knows what they were used for. I hope I get to taste some saba fruit. If it merits a sticker, must be pretty good. The people here weren't ready for a war. All my life I've heard solemn references to the war. It never reached our village, but it touched the lives of our grandparents. What happened here in the valley, and how did it end? I'm looking at a memorial to the lost, the killed, and the maimed. We are so lucky the war never came to Cairo village. The text is barely legible. 3 aphorisms from the young. None should see the face of love and live. It looks like a set of aphorisms. Now to find the rest.
He's not for sale. Not because he's special to me, but because he is trash. A crazy woman made this junk. An artist. I buried her a long time ago. I'm surrounded by it, but my eyes, I can only see here. Can you bring me photos of my art? I'd like to see my work one more time. I want to see how I wasted my life. What do you think of it? Wrong. Awful. Form, color, subject. Simply awful. That was me trying to play to the crowd, to be charming. I should have grown ivy over them. At least the flood will take it all away. Was I never truly inspired? Did I really fail so completely? Let's see another. The figure is without grace or true emotion. I thought if I stood outside his door long enough in the rain, that God would let me inside. All I did was toil my fingers to pieces. I wanted to capture this valley. That's all. But when is the moment? Is it now? Or is it now? Enough about my... Let me see what else you've got in that journal. My trash all on a page together, like a real artist. One day, you could add my name to Mitsuura. They might as well know who to blame. The museum vault. Every artist dreams of their work hanging on its walls. Oh my God. You'll try to go there? It's so far. It'll drain your life away trying to reach it. It might be a longer term. You may be as old as I am by the time you get there. Your journal might end up in the vault, which means Oh, that would redeem everything. Every wasted hour. When a dream crawls back out of your throat, it hurts. But I can do better than those little statues. I can, if you help me. This art will memorialize Cheng, and we'll finish it together. Cheng Valley has many faces, many themes, characters, eras. Take a look through this junk, and we'll pick one of those faces. A face to show Cheng Valley to the unborn children of the Nick. You do that while I make some tea.
This instrument is so beat up, but lovingly preserved. It must have played some important tunes. What a cheap-looking contraption. I'm not sure what to think about this. I'm not sure what to think about this.
What is this? That's just trash. You want our piece to be about trash?
Within the piles of junk, I found a metal cutout of a symbol. These patterns, what powers have they had and lost?
The sleep symbol. This is the pattern, the vibration the prayer makes. When the prayer is said, you can feel it in the air, but you can see it in the water. If you ever see this pattern in motion, prepare to sleep. There are 2 others. Remember and forget. But this one is my favorite. This is the pattern that ended. Sonia, the monk, used this prayer to end the war. A prayer to end a season. God of sleep listened. Power was greater and deeper than anyone knew. That was how the last season ended. Do you want this to be our theme? Very good. And the tea is ready. In the past, I tried to control everything. My work was dead. This time, let's follow our intuition, gather some pieces, and see what happens. What magic might be hiding in this day, which will pass and never return? This tea is good for the throat. It makes me want to sing. Chubaleni husanota. Chubaleni husane. Chubaleni husanota. Krimosanahi. Pleminutu sakanora. That was it. That was Cheng Valley. I thought we would capture Cheng Valley in a piece of art, but we captured it in a moment instead. A moment can never hang on the wall of a museum, but you will still carry it with you. You were the co-author of this moment. I would never have found it without you. I'll rest these weary knees, these old eyes. But you're welcome to bring me images of this valley. As long as you bring them close enough. I'll tell you what I know. There's only a little bit of today left. And then the city, the flood, the lights, the next season. I wish I could show you around, but maybe you can bring the valley to me. You could show me photographs, and I'll rummage around in my mind for any gems.
Those slips are prayers to this god for sleep? People prayed here. Who did they pray to? There's something beautiful about the way the minerals catch the light. These metal animals are looking up, expectantly. I smell hay, rust, and old warmth. These people had to leave so much behind.
We got a big show today.
Huge show.
Breaking news. The Greyhands have died.
We're being reborn, baby.
And we're taking suggestions for our new name.
Live on the air suggestions from the rank and file.
You don't even need to be a Greyhand to suggest a name.
True, true.
The number to call is 0019. That is 0019. First caller, hit us with a name.
Hi, yeah. I was thinking the bricklayers.
Okay. Bricklayers.
Laying some bricks. Well, yeah, thanks for the suggestion.
We'll be taking them all afternoon, so keep them coming.
That number again is 0019. You're listening to Greyhand Radio. We are broadcasting live from Greyhand HQ.
And we're gonna take a little break.
If the Greyhands are changing their name, you'd know them as something else. I've never drank cow's milk, let alone some kind of frozen version.